Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? If it's okay for you for the sound, can you write something on the chat? Just saying hello, or if it's okay for you? Okay, perfect. So I have one hello. I think it's okay. So I'm Agathe. I represent Join a School in France today, and we are going to talk about the Masters in Management program, and especially with Nathalie Quintin Giselius, who is with me to represent ESCP Business School. So be careful because the name of the school's changed. So this is ESCP Business School, and so what is Join a School in France? Join a School in France is a website where you can start an online application for 5 business schools. So we represent EHEC Paris, ESCP Business School, EM Lyon Business School, Schema Business School, and Audencia Business School. So you have 5 chances to join a school in France. And this is just an online application. So now I will let Nathalie to introduce herself and to represent and present the schools.
Yes. I hope everyone can
It's okay.
can hear. So as Agathe was just saying, my name is Nathalie Quintin-Giselius. I'm in charge of international recruitment for the Master in Management at ESCP Business School. So I'm here, of course, to help you if you have any question on the specifics of our program. And of course, if you need some guidance with the application process, any advice that you may need, feel free to ask me. So I will go over the main features of the program. After the presentation is over, Agathe will share with you my email address. So of course, if you have any inquiry, if you want feedback on your profile, you can send me your questions and your resume, and we can take more time to have a one-on-one talk and discuss your specific questions together. So in a nutshell, the Master in Management, it's the flagship program at ESCP Business School. It's a program that was created 200 years ago, so it's been around for a while. And as you may understand, the program has been well established, and we have a network of alumni across the world, which is quite significant, which is also something important that you need to consider when you're looking at different business schools, because it's also a network that you will be joining for the rest of your career. So it's not only for a couple of years, it's you have to really see it as a community that you're joining, and that will be your support group for the rest of your career. So the overview of the program. So we are a general management program. So we do not require that you have a previous degree in management. So it's a question that I often get. You don't need to have a business degree or a BBA or management degree as a prior degree. You can apply coming from a more technical background, or even more towards the literature or liberal arts. So it's possible. We need to understand your professional project and your career goals and how they fit together. But basically, the requirement is that you need to have a bachelor degree in any discipline. We don't require work experience as such, but because it's a highly selective program.
Excuse me, Nathalie.
Yes.
The candidates can't hear you. So maybe can you check your sound?
Yes, of course.
I can hear you. Okay, Swaraj, you can hear. You have the sound? It's okay for you? Okay, so well, there is some trouble, but we will follow. Sorry for the.
Okay, let me know.
Okay,
I haven't
thank you.
touched anything, but
Okay, thank you.
um, so basically, you need to yes, you do not need a specific amount of work experience. That being said, because it's a highly selective program, it really makes your application much stronger if you have completed at least an internship or two, and if you have a few months of work experience, it's preferable. So it's really highly valued in the evaluation, and we strongly recommend that you gain some work experience before joining the program. Internationally minded, it might seem obvious, but we want to make sure that it will be a great experience for you as a student. So we want to make sure that you will be interested in the mobility that's included in our program as a requirement. If you have some previous international exposure, it's fantastic, but it's not a necessity. If you have completed, for example, a semester abroad, an exchange program, if you took some language classes, any trip abroad or any exposure, it could be also if you work in a company in an international team or with international clients, but anything that can show that you would be comfortable working in a international environment. And of course, the academic excellence. We're looking at students who have really good academic records. We want to make sure that you will have a very strong basis when you join the program. So it's very important to have a good record during the whole duration of your bachelor. Um, then the composition of the program, it's a 2-year course. The first year will be dedicated to the core courses, and the second year will be dedicated to the specializations. And you can choose actually from next year. It will be more than 50 different specializations. We're adding new topics. I just got the information that we're adding a specialization on big data, digital transformation, artificial intelligence. So there are more and more subjects that are being added to the curriculum. And from next year on, actually, we will give you the possibility to start taking specializations and electives from the second semester of the first year. So we want to make sure that you can get all the core, the fundamentals of management over a shorter period of time, and you get to spend more time on topics that are of more interest to you. The program takes place in all of our campuses, so Paris can be the point of entry for you, but you can spend a maximum of 2 semesters on the same campus, meaning that you have a rotation that will be mandatory, and you will be expected to study in at least 2 different countries during the 2-year course. You will need to complete 10 months approximately of work experience to get your degree. So a lot of students end up taking a gap year between year 1 and year 2 to complete that experience. But we can make it work also during the summer break, because you have a few weeks between the exams in May and when the classes start in September. Or you can also take only a gap semester, meaning that you defer your second year to January instead of September. So it leaves you more time to complete the work experience, and you can still graduate in a span of 2 years if you wish to. But most students will take 3 years actually. And you can also combine with additional degrees. So additional degrees from ESCP, depending on where you study. If you're going to Germany, to the UK, to Spain, you can add a national degree to the French degree. but you can also gain additional degrees through our dual degree programs. So you have a lot of possibilities and a lot of different combinations and variations in the program. So you need to think of the whole program ahead of time. Even though when you apply, we only expect you to choose for the first semester, you need to be able to project yourself over the period of 2 years and as much as possible have different scenario possible of what you would like to do. So it's a cohort of about 900 students, between 900 and 1,000 students across the 6 campuses. So not everyone will be at the same time at the same place, but you get a lot of networking opportunities with the rest of the cohort because you get many invitations to conferences, to job fairs. So there are many occasions where you can interact with your classmates who are based in the different locations of the school. Um, the study stream, as I just mentioned, so you need to choose campus each semester. Of course, you can study in English regardless of the place where you study. So you don't need to speak French or you don't need to speak German or Spanish, but you will be expected to learn during the master program. So the common language for everyone will be English, and then you can add local languages depending on where you study. And it's a mandatory part also of the curriculum. You need to get a C1 level in one foreign language and a B2 level in a second foreign language to graduate. So the international aspect of the school is very strong, and we want to prepare you for a career on an international level. So the more languages you will learn, the more opportunities you will get. And then the career perspectives. So as you can see from the statistics on presentation, we have a very high professional integration. It's almost 100% of students have a job within 6 months after graduation, and almost 2/3 will have employment before graduation. So you usually get more than one offer during the program, and you can secure a job quite quickly during the 2-year course. Of course, you have to look and apply. It's not a career placement as such. You really have to work through the network and work with the alumni association, attend as many career fairs as possible, and maximize the opportunities that you get to apply to jobs and meet with HR representatives from a lot of companies. The main sectors that are employing our students nowadays, it's mostly consulting companies and finance and bank institutions. But not only, you also have more and more entrepreneurs, more and more students setting up a company, a lot of IT, digital consulting, audits. So you have a lot of different possibilities, and you can make the most of the program by customizing as much as possible depending on your professional project. So the application process, maybe Agathe will complement also what I am about to say. You have, as an international candidate, you have two options to apply to ESCP. You can apply directly to the school, meaning that you send in your application directly to ESCP Europe, and it's the same requirements as for join a school in France. So we need a GMAT, GRE, CAT, or TAGE-MAGE, an English proficiency test, your transcripts, your degree, personal statement, academic references or professional references, and a resume. And the interview is taking place either on campus or by Skype. Or you can apply with Join a School in France, meaning that you are applying simultaneously to ESCP, Business School, HEC Paris, EM Lyon, Audencia, and Schema. And basically, you have one application, one interview for the five different Grande École Master in Management program from those five institutions. The requirements are exactly the same. The interview is taking place in person in the Campus France offices across the world. The requirements, as far as we're concerned, are the same, and you're actually evaluated at the same time. So you don't have more chances depending on one process or the other. We don't prefer one over the other. It's really about what's more practical for you, which school are you interested in, and what are the interview modalities that you want, if you want to meet with ESCP only or with the different schools from the consortium. So maybe I get you want to to add something.
Thank you very much, Natalie, for your presentation. I think it's really clear for our students, and I can see a lot of questions that I can't sometimes answer because, for example, this one is, I'd like to know what kind of visa will I have to apply if I choose to study at London campus. So the candidate said that, is it a tier, I don't know how to say it, for student visa? Maybe you know it, Natalie.
I don't know all the specificities of all the visa requirements for each country because it depends also on where the student is coming from. So it will be different conditions for each student. Generally speaking, when you're applying to the program, I would say for the vast majority of students, Paris is the point of entry. So you apply for a visa to France, and then from France, you can apply to a visa to the UK. And we have a student affairs department here who is helping students with the application processes and the visa arrangements. But it's a student visa that you're getting in any case, which should allow you to attend the classes and eventually also take an internship if you want to stay on after the courses and work. So, but it's true for the UK. It's a bit special this year with the Brexit, and we don't necessarily have all the information about the impact that it's going to have on our students, but the school is authorized, to support visa applications. So hopefully it won't be a problem. It won't be an issue for our students.
Okay, thank you very much. So now I will follow with the recruitment process and all the details regarding the Join a School in France application. So thank you very much, Nathalie.
You're most welcome.
And thank you. And I hope we will do another webinar maybe in few months.
Yes,
Thank
thank you
you
so
very much.
much. Thank you.
Bye bye, Nathalie.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. So regarding the recruitment process, I just have to tell you that we are at Join a School in France. This is a common process. So you go on joinasschoolinfrance.com and you will start an application for 5 business schools. So Nathalie here has presented you in details regarding ESCP Business School, but you have also HEC Paris, EM Lyon Business School, Schema Business School, and Audencia Business School. And this is exactly the same documents. So it's one application for all the 5 business schools, because when I will receive your application, I will send it to the 5 business schools. I saw on on the chat that questions about yields or written test scores. So there is no minimum scores. It's really important to take into account that there is no minimum score, because this is for 5 business schools. So each school has its own scores. That's why you have to do your best. If you're not satisfied by your score, you have to do it again, and you have to try as you can to have the best score as possible, because it depends on many criteria about each school. So you also need to know that there is absolutely no difference between session 1, session 2, session 3, or session 4. This is just a planning of the year. It's the way to give all the students the same chance to join a school in France. So for some students, it's better to apply in session 1. For other one, it's better in session 4. It depends, but there is absolutely no disadvantage if you choose session 3, session 4, no difference. Then regarding the recruitment process, so as I said before, it's really simple. You go on joinaschoolin.france.com. You will start to fill out a form with your personal data and with all your academic background. It's really important to have an international profile. So, for example, you need to have done 3 years in a foreign country. With foreign country, I mean outside France. It's really important to have an international diploma. So in another country, except in France, because we don't accept a French diploma, because this is a recruitment process only for international people. So you can have a French nationality, but your diploma must be English, must be Indian, whatever. You have to study at least 3 years in a foreign country, and you need to speak English, because we ask for an English test, except if if English is your mother tongue, or except if you studied all your courses, all your diploma in English. But it's always an advantage to have an English test, even if it's your mother tongue, even if you studied all your courses in English. It's not a disadvantage, but it's an advantage, okay? Also, then you will have to upload the documents. So regarding the documents you have on the presentation, on the PowerPoint, you have the identity documents, such as your identity card or your passport. You also have to upload your previous studies diploma, for example, a bachelor degree or a license degree, because it's at least 3 years in a foreign country, except France. All your academic transcripts regarding your diploma. You can also apply even if you have not already your diploma. Maybe you will be graduated in July 2020, but it's okay, because we can understand that you will be graduated in the year. Okay, so you will complete 3 years abroad. So it's really important, and you have to give us the proof that you will be graduated in the year. So you will not have a diploma, it's okay, but you will have a school certificate. Then we will ask a resume and 2 recommendation letter. So the recommendation letters have to be academic. It's really better to have academic ones. But if you have a professional and an academic recommendation letter, it's okay. And all the application fees, to have all the diploma, to have all your application complete, it's around 190 euros through Join a School in France. And you just have to take the screenshot to justify that you well paid the application fees. So now I will take some minutes to read your question. Is it okay for you? Is it clear? Do not hesitate to stop me, because I don't have a good accent, and you come from many countries. Sometimes it can be difficult, but I will try to do my best to answer your question, to give you all the information that you need. So, hola, there is a lot of questions. This is not complicated to find a job when you join one of these 5 business schools, because they are really well ranked. They are in the top ranked business schools in France and also in Europe. They are really well recognized in Europe. So there is no problem to find a job after. And it's a plus, it's an advantage to be an international student who comes in one of these 5 business schools. So I think you can believe me, there is no problem to find a job. The deadline to apply for round 3, it's on March 3rd. Sorry. So you have to complete your application before March 3rd. So hurry up. And it's really better to take in advance, to put in advance in advance your application, because it takes times. And if you start to upload your documents, if you start to write your motivation questions, you can have return from us, because we check your application each week, and we can say, oh, we can call you saying, sorry, this is not the good document. Maybe you should put another one. We can give you advice if you take in advance, if you do your application in advance. So sorry. So round 3, okay. What's the okay? Okay. So yes, sometimes some students start an application with Join a School in France, and then they apply directly to the schools. There is no problem. You can't do that. You have to choose the way you want, if you want the international way or if you want the direct way. But if you tell us that you choose Join a School in France, you have to send an email to the school and to Join a School in France that you want to choose Join a School in France. Okay, that's all. And then your application will be deleted in the direct way, because you can't apply twice. So this just you have to choose. And with Join a School in France, you just have 5 more chance to join one of the schools. Then does your achievement score anyway? So regarding the scores for yields, for GMAT, TAJMAJ, etc., you can go on each school's website and to look at the forum, what you want, to have an average. But if you think that 8 is a good score, okay. If you can't do better, you can apply 8. But if you want to do more, if you want to have the best score as possible, I suggest you to do it again. That's all. Because through Join a School in France, we can't say you have to have 8, you have to have 7, you have to. No, we can't, because this is for 5 schools. So you just have to inform you to go on the website to find what is the average. If you absolutely want a very good score, you can do twice. You can do again your test. No, there is no disadvantage to apply in round 3. And it's the same for round 4. It's just to to separate the year, because we have a lot of students who applied, so there is no quota. There is absolutely no disadvantage. This is just to have students divided in the year for us, because it's a lot of work. That's all. So this is not the process through Campus France. Campus France will help you to give you a visa. And sometimes, for example, if you are eligible to, because regarding the recruitment process, sorry, because I will follow my presentation. Then when you will complete your application, you upload all the documents, and then I will check your application, and I will say, okay, all the documents are complete, all the documents are valid, so everything is conformed, and then I will tell you that you are eligible to take the interview. Um, your application is eligible. So I will send your application to the 5 business schools, and then the 5 business school will tell you if you are eligible to take an interview. If you are eligible, I will organize an interview for you in your country. So this is the second step, the interview process. So the interview process are organized all around the world. If you are in India, in China, in Europe, in the United States, we organize an interview for you in your country, in your city, and then I will try to organize it in a Campus France or in French institutions. And then if it's at Campus France, they will sometimes we do the same process. Um, the people will meet you to during the interview. This is the jury member, and then they will also give you the right yes, the right to have a visa. This is a simple process sometimes. Exactly. In less, you can promote join a school in France. Um, Soirage, thank you very much for your argument. This is a really, really good argument. In less money, you can apply for 5 business schools. Exactly. I can say better. But, and this is not a disadvantage, because this is just an advantage. This is not easier because you will apply through Join a School in France. This is exactly the same criteria. Even if you apply in the direct way or in the international way, Join a School in France, this is exactly the same criteria. So this is just that you will have 5 more chances. That's all. So it's not easier, and it's not a disadvantage, because we have agreement with all the 5 business schools. You're welcome. Can we apply for CAT? Regarding the CAT, CAT, the Indian Business School exam, you can do it, of course, but um, you can, for example, if you go on each school's website, some schools don't accept the CAT. That's all. So if you have the CAT, it's okay. If you can do another test, it's better. Yes, it can be difficult, but it's also difficult, for example, for people like me, it's difficult to find a job, of course. But if you do a really good business school, and you are going to do a really good business school because you are probably a candidate to join a school in France, I hope, you will have more chance to find a job because they are really, really well recognized, and they will prepare you to enter into the business world. You will have an internship, a 6 months internship to do. So you will be prepared to this business world, and you will have some techniques and some courses that you can't find anywhere. Regarding the Brexit and the ESCP London campus, I think you can ask directly to Nathalie Quintin, who presented the ESCP before. Just a minute, I will write you the email of Nathalie. Up. This is the email address. This is the email address of Nathalie. You can ask your questions directly to Nathalie regarding this question. Regarding the interview process, so I will, if you are eligible to the business school, I need to precise that you can be eligible at 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, maybe. But if you are at least eligible at one school, you will have an interview, and you can confirm your participation or not. Maybe you will stop the process because you want 3 business school. I hope you will have all the 5 business school. But if you have at least one business school who want to accept you, you will have an interview, and the interview is with jury members, 2 or 3 or 4 jury members, between 2 and 4 jury members. The jury members are alumni. Alumni are former students. They come from your schools, HEC Paris, CSCP, Schema, EM Lyon, Audencia, and now they work, but they were former students. So they really well know your schools, and you can also ask your question during the interview because they can help you to to prepare you to enter into the schools. And the questions are about the personal skills. It's not an interview regarding your mathematic abilities, it's not on the grades. It's really on your personality, on your personal skills, your motivation, your general culture. So, for example, if you are in London, I'm sure you will have questions on the Brexit. So you have to be aware of what's happened in the world, and you have to you also can talk about your hobbies. what is your passion, what do you want to do, your professional project, your motivation, how you want to, what do you want to do in 5 years, this kind of questions. It's really on your personality. So now, if you have more questions, you can contact us on WhatsApp, on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. We have a Facebook group, so do not hesitate to go on this Facebook group, because we had some tips to prepare you, to give you details and to give you tips for your online application. So do not hesitate to go on this Facebook group. You can add us on WhatsApp, and Eurydice and I'm Agathe. We are here to answer your question on Join a School in France at cci-paris-idf.fr. I will write this. You have the email address on the PowerPoint, but I've read the I've write the address. Sorry, Join a School in France. In France at Society. Okay, you can ask all your questions here. We will do our best to answer in a quick time. And we are on all these social media. You will receive the replay of the webinar tomorrow. And do not hesitate to add us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Weibo, WeChat, and YouTube. So I hope the presentation was good for you. It was helpful for you. Do not hesitate to contact me and to contact Eurydice for more questions. And you can ask all your questions to Nathalie also. You have the email address in the chat. Thank you very much, and see you really soon. And I hope to see your online applications. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.